Hi everyone, Deb Webb here from debwebbart, and today I just wanted to share a book with you which I found incredibly useful. It's one of those books that I borrowed from the library first just to see what it was like, and then decided I actually have to have it. So I haven't as yet sourced it and bought it for myself, but that's on the agenda. So this book is called Color Lab by Deborah Forman. And what I liked about it, as you can see, there's a whole lot of different post-it notes that I really wanted to show you in here, and I had to keep track because there's actually so much value in this book that I needed to just pinpoint exactly what I wanted to point out. So without further ado, let's get started, and basically it's taking you through all the colors, okay, and how you can work with them and what you can learn from them. Absolutely amazing. So let's see how it goes. Right, Color Lab for mixed media artists, 52 exercises for exploring color concepts through paint, collage, paper and more. Deborah Forman. Okay. So initially, as with most of these, it gives us the contents page, which goes through all the different colors and it says lab 1, lab 2, because it's all these sort of so-called laboratory of experiments with color. Okay, goes through all the colors and systems, and then does obviously a little bit about the artist herself. And then always, as with all of the books, they go through what materials you could use. So we start with red, yeah? And so she goes in and does exploration, and everything has got like their little suggestion of what you can do with the information that is being given. Okay, so for instance here, the getting started was to fold paper, cut out your collage paper that you'd made in the previous one, and do these sort of little circles on a basic accordion fold. I just loved how it looked, and it was super easy but just really effective when going through these kinds of exercises. Okay, and it is one of those books that's absolutely packed. It really, really is. It has got so many different mediums as well, to take you through everything. So it really is quite incredible. And we get to yellow. We've got leaf layers. So it's basically about cutting out leaf shapes from the paper, drawing things with and using specific colors, because obviously it's all about color. This one I absolutely loved. Tea stain composition. So basically staining a large piece of paper with tea and then letting it dry, cutting it up, and that becomes your palette. And then you're dabbing it with bits of yellow, you can use whatever, you can use brushes, paint brushes, you can use pens, markers. These little things here were like, obviously what she's come up with, but so inspiring. When I looked at that, it kind of reminded me of Gustav Klimt. So, I thought that was lovely. So there is so much inspiration in here. Cutting out stuff, pasting. I mean, just doing something simple like that can give you so much information about colour. And that's what I find is interesting. And so this one here about basically what she did was she went and discovered some beautiful different colours of shells and stones and things out on the beach, and then came back and did a colour palette that linked, then took some of the textural elements from the shells and things and brought them into the painting. But just the process, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And also has these little tips and things as well. We move on to blue. I mean, blue has such good base in all art, hasn't it? And then this is, so periodically she looks at different artists, some still living, some not, and but this is Nicholas Wilton, who lives in Northern California, and basically she then points out how he communicates with regards to the different colors, etc. So that's really cool. And as you can see, it's not just limited to paint. Here we've got denim, putting different kinds of denim together. to make the most interesting of blues. You've got almost like a cyanotype thing happening here. I love cyanotype. And, you know, then using that as your base for potentially using it as collage. Okay, indigo dyes. Oh, blues have had such a long history, haven't they? Valeria Condor. And then this one was lovely, a sunprint collage. So basically using some of your cyanotypes and put in together with other things and then drawing over. And so this is a list of how you can actually achieve something like that. And it's really interesting because it's the colors that this is all about. It's honestly very contrasting and but also subtle. So really very interesting how you put it all together. I love it. And then this one here, which is by Ma Yuan, but it was basically taking that concept of this Chinese painter and then creating your base and then putting in your own wavy kind of pattern, but still keeping the background, but then making some little subtle changes. Okay, so it's got some very interesting things here. And then I like this one, Verdigris, the copper patina, just actually using copper patina to create these colours. And gosh, how interesting is that? We're on to orange. There's some really fabulous works here. And same thing, always getting started in how you can do your own. I love this one, Orange Shifts. So it's basically cutting out all the different colours and then literally just pairing them up. And that, once again, can tell you a lot about the different colours and how they are, how they're represented. We go on to Violet, where there's some looks at different types of different artists and how it all came about. Okay, and then this is a work of Faith Evans-Sills, where she uses nature and does patterns in nature. So even something like that is a really interesting thing to go and experiment with and get out there in nature and make your own patterns and see how you can, what kind of colours you can find. Because it's actually very surprising how much colour is, you know, you could look at a landscape, but then you don't, and when you're first looking at it, you might just think, oh, well, that's mostly green. But once you start looking deeply, you see all the colours, so it's quite fascinating. I like this one here. We're on to black and white, and I thought this was quite interesting, where it's literally wooden 3D objects that have been stuck down and then painted with the whole black and white concept. Really a good exercise in the grayscale as well as contrast. So that's a very interesting thing. And then there's so much. It's just, you can't possibly condense it. This is the work of Talene Battalion, and basically it's using encaustics. It's something that I wouldn't mind getting into. I'm just not into that right now, but I love the step-by-step process that is being shown over here. Olivia Jeffries, there are some brilliant pattern work things in here, brilliant. And then you're looking at the colour systems and how everything interacts and how it works together to create something and to pull your artwork together. So we've got some sculptural aspects as well, some woven paper to fuse your colours, which is a simple process but a really interesting one when you stand back and you look and you see how the colours are playing against each other. So it's a really interesting one. These, I absolutely love these, and I think it's just because of the patterns. They're fascinating. I like this project idea here. Make a list about your process of making. This list can include topics, tools, methods, or quantity of time. From this list, highlight the things you love, then create a list of the things you don't like or even hate. Once a week, you can try something from each of these lists. The idea is to become better at what you're already good at and balance that with trying something from your you don't like list. And she said, in your own experience, our strengths and weaknesses are the two sides of one coin. So it's a very, that I just thought that was a very good idea. And then this is also fascinating, very, very inspiring, I found.
the work of Karen Kroll. I don't know the person, but I feel like I want to look her up. But very fascinating. And Lloyd Martin, really well-known name. And here we've got some sheet music with some interesting shapes and collage elements. I thought that was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Once again, there's the instructions getting started. So it is, all in all, a really, really fantastic book done by Deborah Forman. And really, I felt that this book is worthwhile. So this is one of the books that I feel like I need to purchase now. So hopefully you'll find this book review interesting, and let me know if you're going to also have a look at it and purchase. Take care. Have a great day.